So before we begin, I have a couple things to say. Number one, it's May now, so I'm not wearing my sweatshirt because it is hot. It gets hot, and I'm in Colorado, so it's gonna probably snow in a day, and then it will be back up in the 80s. But it's May now. It's May 1st, my favorite month of the year, so that's fun. Number two, I got a new camera, and I need to work this out because, dear God, look what it's doing. It like does this thing where I'm just standing still, and it'll like just the lighting will go up, and it'll get super bright, and that looks really bad. But then look, it's doing it right now. But then like sometimes I'll just like move back, and then it will look really nice, and I like the footage. I really don't like the camera right now. I'm actually once I get this working, I'm gonna use it instead because this is way better. But I don't have it now. Number two, next it's also in the morning, so I'm drinking coffee because I want to actually have a good review here. What are we reviewing, actually? Well, Drake has dropped his new mixtape. I thought this was an album initially. Nope, this is his mixtape, which he's dropped a few of recently in the past few years, so this probably won't be too big. But my overall thoughts on Drake, I like him fine, I think. I think he's never made something great, really. He's made a lot of solid tracks, but he's never made anything amazing or great. He's always just been pretty good, and he's always had a nice style, and I think it's sometimes his ego, like his ego, not inherently the same ego that most rappers have, his ego of him thinking he's a genius. He's never been a genius. He really thinks he is, though. His ego's always sometimes really, really ruined albums. In particular, Scorpion, which is the one album I've heard from him. I really didn't like it. Oh, God, I hate the white light so much. It sucks. I really didn't like it, and the reason why I really didn't like it was because I felt like it was Drake just, like, doing the same thing 25 times. There are definitely some unique tracks on there, but it's just mostly the same track 25 times, despite the singles, which all the singles are great. For some reason, the singles are the only solid tracks on that entire album. But I couldn't care for that album much. It's been a while since I've listened to it, though, so maybe I'll give it a second chance. I don't want to listen to it again. It's the most useless double album ever made. But hopefully Dark Lane demo tapes is better. I feel like the next album is literally just going to be called Dark Lane, and it'll be like a triple album. I don't know how much Drake is going to let his ego fill it up. But this is the newest mixtape from Drake. We have a nice feature list on this. Chris Brown, Future, Playboi Carti, and Young Thug. I don't love any of those rappers, so I don't know how much I'm going to care for this. But hey, I'll give it a shot. I've enjoyed Drake in the past, so maybe this will be a lot of fun. It hopefully will be enjoyable enough. But we'll start with the first track, which is Deep Pockets. If anybody knows what I do, essentially I turn the camera off when I listen to the tracks because copyright reasons. And once the track is over, I'll give my thoughts on it. And I'm also editing this a little more. I'm using my computer now to edit. So it's going to be, there'll still be little things between each clip of me talking. But yeah, there are 14 tracks. It's 50 minutes. Let's get going because I don't have a million years. The first track, the opening track, is titled Deep Pockets. Obviously, when he says deep pockets, he means he has a lot of money. So yeah, let's jump right in, folks. And I've only heard one track already. I've heard Two Side Slide because everybody's heard Two Side Slide at this point. I like it fine. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, let's start with the first track, Deep Pockets. Let's go. That was one hell of a weak opening. I don't. Okay. Look, I expected a little more because I really like the opening track to Scorpion, so whatever. I really like Survival, but what was that? I mean, it's not terrible. I guess it had some nice flows on it. It had some nice vocals. The issue is that beat does not fit with his rapping or his hook. That beat should be way different. I think my issue with that is that maybe that beat could have worked, but like that was so weirdly mixed to the extent where it was kind of hard to hear Drake, and I don't know if that's the point, but I should be able to hear him. Also, you could have cut an entire minute or two off of that. That could have been a nice little opening, 3-minute opening track. Instead, it's 3 minutes and 42 seconds, and that final 42 seconds are renderously useless. I don't hate that, I guess. I don't know if we're going on I don't know if this is a great start yet. I think this album still has potential, but like, one track in, I don't like this too much, so hopefully the rest of this is good. Hopefully the rest of this is actually mixed well, because that was not mixed very well. Next we got When to Say When. This ought to be fun, ain't it? This'll be fun. That was a lot better. That's what I want to hear. I really liked that, actually. That had a nice little sound to it. I think Drake had a nice flow over that. It felt a lot more well mixed. It definitely reminded me of Nice for What, which it's not as good as Nice for What, because that's one of my favorite Drake songs, but that was enjoyable enough. Had a nice flow from Drake, had pretty nice lyrics, despite the fact that Drake's never been lyrically talented. Also, ghostwriting, I don't know if we actually know he ghost writ, but it feels like he does. Overall, enjoyable enough. It's definitely a very Drake track of him having this beat that's like he thinks is really creative when it's really not that creative because he's done it a million times. But even though it's not the most creative beat, it's still an enjoyable track. I enjoy that a lot, and I will probably download that and listen to it a little bit more. Way better than that opening Deep Pockets track. That was a lot better. I'm liking that a lot more. That's what I want to be hearing off of this album. Not horribly mixed, weird songs. I want to hear enjoyable songs like that. Because whenever has Drake been amazing? Really never. Unless you're a huge fan of him. Which, if you're a huge fan of him, good for you. Overall, enjoyed that a lot more. Next is Chicago Freestyle. So it's a freestyle. So I don't know how... I've never actually heard Drake freestyle. I know he has a million times, but I never heard it. With Give On, who I've never heard of, actually. So this ought to be fun. Let's get into the Chicago Freestyle. I like freestyling, so this ought to be an entertaining track. I liked that quite a lot, actually. That is, I mean, the worst part about that track is that a lot of the listeners of this aren't going to get that that's not his bridge, that's Eminem's bridge. But I'm pretty sure that's a reference to Eminem. Whenever a rapper's ripping off another rapper, that's unless he's just horribly ripping off, I'm pretty sure he's paying homage to Eminem's Superman, if you're wondering what that is. Because a lot of people could just like listen to that and just think, oh, that's really nice, wow. Then later learn that Eminem did it way better, but I don't expect Drake to do ever better than Eminem. That was enjoyable enough. That had a nice beat to it, had a nice flow from Drake, had a nice hook too from Give On. I really liked that, actually. It mostly hit me when the bridge hit. I was like, oh, that's Superman. But like, I'm really hoping that's not him ripping off. I'm really hoping that's him. I'm going to really not like that track if it's him ripping off. If it's him paying homage, then I'm going to like it a lot more. But if that's him ripping off them, horrible ripping off, by the way, because Superman's a pretty popular song. But yeah, I liked that a lot. Best track so far, now we have Not You 2 featuring Chris Brown. I don't know how relevant Chris Brown really is anymore, but we'll listen to it. I'll give it a shot. This will probably maybe be a little more mainstream than the last few, because Drake isn't always the most mainstream in a certain way. But this is Not You 2 with Chris Brown. Let's go. Okay, that was good. That wasn't great, but that definitely had a nice sound to it. Had nice vocals from Chris Brown, really in the back, so he really didn't shine on this track at all. I enjoyed that fine. Didn't have anything very interesting on it. Had a pretty Drake-ish little subject matter, basically, about a girl, and he thought she trusted him, but she didn't. Things you've heard Drake or any rapper rap about before, but enjoyable enough to the extent where I'll download it and listen to it again. That was good, just not great. It's not the best track on this album. I still like When to Say When and the Chicago Freestyle a lot more, but still enjoyable enough. We're off to a better start than I thought, because I was thinking with the first track, I was thinking, oh no, is this going to be like Scorpion again? But we're off to a better start. We're going better. Now the next track is Two Side Slide, which I've already heard, so I'm not going to have too many thoughts on this track. I mean, I've heard it a million times already, but I like it, so let's listen to Two Side Slide again. Yeah, I still like that track a lot. It's my favorite so far in this album. If anybody doesn't even notice this, for some reason people continue to do the dance in the song like it's you put your right foot up to the side and then your left foot slide. No, it's the moonwalk. Right foot up, it's the moonwalk. Stop saying. He literally says he can dance like Michael Jackson. I mean, it's kind of right there. It's kind of, it's fine though. I think it's kind of cringy though when somebody on TikTok uploads a video of them dancing to the song in the complete wrong way. I feel like that's what Drake's intending. I feel like it's not supposed to be obvious that he's talking about the moonwalk, but he definitely hints at it. And if you do look at the motions, right foot up, left foot slide. He's not saying left foot slide to the, he never said to the side. And I think somebody may point out the fact that I think he may have done a dance in the music video for Two Side Slide, which I never watched. So maybe that's where it comes from. But I feel like that's not what he's going for, though. And if that is what he's going for, then congratulations. He made it very coincidentally seem like he's talking about the moonwalk. But I enjoy that a lot. It has a nice trap beat over it. It has a very catchy hook. I'll give that. This is a really catchy song. So I've already listened to it a million times, but I'll listen to it again. Favorite track on the album so far. Next is Desires with Future. I'm actually confused. I think there's a Future album coming too, because Life is Good is not on here, which I would expect to be on here because there is a Future track later on here with Drake on it. It says Future on it. It's not even a Drake track. I don't even get that, but okay. Also, I love how my camera continues to do this stupid thing where it's dark and then it gets light. It's absolutely obnoxious. This is Desires with Future. Let's go. I liked it a lot. That's probably my second favorite song on the album, actually, right after Two Side Slide. Nice catchy hook. Nice verses from Future and Drake. A couple of lines I found a little cringy. In particular, the how did you go vegan and you still beefing with me? And also the line where he says, nice guys finish off where they started. A couple lines like that are just a little cringy, but overall I felt like Drake was a lot more in that track. He wasn't laid back. He felt like he was in it. He was on the beat. He had very nice flow over it, and Future sounded very nice. Future and Drake are really good together on tracks. I don't like Future very much. I like Drake a lot more, even though I don't even really like Drake too much. But I feel like the two of them always really work well together. They always have really nice flow together. They always have the same style where they can both flow on a beat, and they're basically best friends in hip hop. So hey, you got tracks like Life is Good where they both flow on that beat very well, which that's one of my favorite songs of the year. Really like that song. But yeah, I'm very happy with what I just heard. I liked that a lot. That is not my favorite quite yet, because nothing on this album is going to be great, unless something really surprises me. But so far, 6 tracks in, only one I don't really like. And the other 5 I really like. So, this track will be halfway through, and so far, I like this a lot more than Scorpion. So, hey, maybe his album later this year will be, really good. Who knows? Let's get into this one, this one is called Time Flies, with just Drake now, so we'll see how he can carry this track. Because my favorite tracks in this album, besides Two Side Slide, have been the ones with features. So let's see how well he carries this one. I don't know. Let's see. Let's go. Time Flies. I like that a lot. I mean, I said a lot about tracks and stuff, but that was really nice. That was really nice and catchy. Specifically, I'm pretty sure that was about his son, Adonis. I don't know. Drake tells a lot of stories, so I don't know. But dang, my phone's getting filled with notifications right now. But overall, that was a nice track. That was very enjoyable. That had a nice catchy flow to it. Had a nice catchy hook. Really nice beat over it. We're halfway through, and I like most of the tracks on this. I still only do not like Deep Pockets, that opening track. Everything else so far has been solid. The next track is Landed, which is a shorter track, but hey, we'll see how solid this is. Let's get into it. Damn, that was good. That might be my favorite track yet. I really, really liked that. that's like, yeah, that's the best I think this album's gotten. This album's getting better as it goes, but that was like felt like the most passion Drake had put into any track on this record so far. I really I really liked that. The only hey look, SoundCloud just notified me about the album. I really like just that flow. I like how short it was as well, because it feels like he knew this track only needs to be about one hook, maybe two hooks and two verses. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't need to be three verses with a bunch of hooks and bridges. No, he's like, hey, I'm just gonna go with a harder track that sounds a little more angry, a little more hyping, aggressive. I really like that. That's actually really freaking good. I'm really excited now. This album's getting a lot better as it goes, and I was really worried because at the beginning, not a great opening track, but damn, all other 7 tracks so far have been really, really solid. So let's hope that he can keep that up with the next one, which is D4L, which actually I don't know when I'm going to listen to this because my freaking Wi-Fi just stopped. So I don't know how I'm going to listen to this album for now, but like, it doesn't really matter to you guys actually how I'm listening to it. But yep, my Wi-Fi is totally down. Thanks, thanks universe. Well, I'll listen to it. But so far, pretty solid album. Next, this is with Young Thug. So here we go. Let's do it. Okay, so I liked that a lot. My only issue with it, though, is that I don't feel like the mixing was top-notch like it should be. That is a track with Young Thug and Future on it. Drake, Young Thug, and Future. All 3 very popular artists. That should be a little higher produced. But honestly, that's a really great collaboration, actually. I really like how each rapper, each put their own... Like, they put themselves into it. They all sounded very high energy on the beat, wanting to be on the track. I really liked... specifically Future. I thought that was a really nice verse from Future. And a really nice verse from Thug. And Drake was great in it, too. But... yeah, it's not my favorite track on the album, specifically for the fact that it did have a little bit of weird mixing in it, and it did feel like there was maybe a little bit too much. Kind of in the same way that Ya Ya is a fun but flawed track on Music to Be Murdered By Eminem specifically, because it's like a really cool collaboration with all these rappers with this high energy to it. It's just like sometimes there's a little bit too much on there, so I enjoyed that. Fine. It's not my favorite on this album so far. It's top 5 probably, but yeah. Also, it's called D4L. I didn't say that. It's D4L. Also, with the Wi-Fi thing, I'm using YouTube now because for some reason, Spotify is the only thing saying the Wi-Fi is down. Nothing else is. So yeah, next track is the weirdest title on this album, Pain in 1993. Don't know why 1993. Don't know why Pain, but this is the track with Playboi Carti. So we'll see how well this goes. This is released yesterday, so hey, let's hear this. This is Pain. Let's go. Blame 1993 specifically. Let's go. Oh, okay. Dang it. I liked that. Kind of. I think that's one of my least favorite songs of this album thus far. And it's weird that this is a single, but I think it's a single. It's one of the more hyped up tracks, but it's not that I think it's a terrible, awful track. It's that I think Drake is really good in it and has a really nice beat. Just that hook by Playboi Carti. I'm forgetting why I really don't like Playboi Carti. That was not pleasant. It was just... Is that pleasant to anybody? I mean, it's a fine track nonetheless, but damn, that hook kind of hurts it. Drake was nice in it, nice beat, just did not like that hook from Playboi at all. Still not the worst song on this album, but definitely not one of the best. Next, we have 4 tracks left. We have Losses, From Florida with Love, Demons, and War. So next we got Losses, which is the longest track on this album. So let's listen to it. Let's do this. I mean, we're doing it with every track, but let's go. All right, I like that a lot. I don't know if that needs to be 4.5 minutes, but still solid enough, still enjoyable. I guess it's a reflection on his fame, nonetheless, of anything else, but he's done that quite a lot, so... And I'm also not expecting Drake to come up with new ideas for his music, because that's never what he's been about. He's never been about insane creativity. He's always been just about nice kind of flows, beats, just generally having a nice sound. Just, a lot of his tracks are just nice. And that was nice. Enjoyable enough, had a nice beat. Actually, I really like the beat on that. The only issue I have with it is that it's a little too long, but... still enjoyable enough. I feel like you could have cut off solid 30 seconds to a minute off of that, but you know, it's all fine because it's still enjoyable enough. We got 3 tracks left. We got From Florida with Love, Demons, and War. I'm actually going to check to see if, because I know I'm on YouTube, so I don't know what's this featuring. This doesn't have any features on it. The only features left on here are FIFA Foreign and Sosa Geek on Demons. No features on this track, and no features on the final track, War. So this is From Florida with Love. That's the nicest title on this entire album so far. Just the nicest title, From Florida with Love. Hopefully this is a nice track. Okay, I don't know if nice is the word I'd use to describe it. I guess it kind of is because it's a Drake track, but it did sound a little harder than the other tracks on this album. Not the most relaxed track, which I was expecting, but it's fine. I don't really prefer one over. I prefer actually hard Drake over the softer, nice Drake. Overall, I like that a lot. It's definitely not a track that I'm going to go back to a lot. Not as catchy, and it's not a track it's a lot lower on my list of the ranking for this album. But overall, a really enjoyable track. I feel like Drake had a nice flow over it, nice beat. It's a good song. It's about as good as most of the not as great songs that this album's offered so far. Overall, man, nice track. I don't have much to say, honestly. Next, we got Demons, which this is a bigger track. This is, bigger deal track. With Fivio, Foreign, and Sosa Geek, which I've never heard of either of these artists. So this ought to be fun. Here we go, Demons. This maybe will be one of the better tracks on this album. Who knows? We'll see. Alright, I enjoyed that a lot. I don't know if that's like best song on the album or anything, but it had a lot of energy to it. I felt like, I don't know who was who, but I really did enjoy both of the verses from Fivio and Sosa. Even if, I don't even know actually who was where, because I've never heard them before. But the guest features were good. I enjoyed the rapping a lot over this. It sounded a lot harder, a lot more angry. I got more aggressive than both of the previous 2 tracks, or maybe even 3 tracks. But I like it a lot. I don't know how much I'm going to go back and listen to that. It's not maybe one of the best on the album so far, but enjoyable, definitely. And I really did enjoy the features, actually. Next, we got the final track, War. I'll review this track, and then I will review the album as a whole. This is the closing track, War. Let's go. Alright, that was a pretty solid ending track. I don't know how much I will go back and play that one again. It's another track from this album that's just enjoyable enough and has a nice speed, nice flow, nice aggression. I don't know. I have barely anything to say on this track. I liked it as a closing, and I thought it had a good amount of passion from Drake as himself. Yeah, not speaking more now, but overall enjoyed it a lot as a closing track to this album. Now, overall thoughts on this album right now. Overall, this is generally a step up from Drake work in recent memory. I understand this isn't an album, this is a mixtape, but compared to some of his albums like Scorpion, this is so much better. Feels a lot more actually invested. It's way less boring. It's shorter. It's spicier. Each track feels necessary. I didn't really feel like I wanted besides the opening track, I didn't really feel like any track from this album deserved to be cut. Generally speaking, I really enjoyed this. I think this is a better sound for Drake to go for. If he does release an album later this year, I would like to hear it sounding very similar to this. It doesn't have to be, I don't want to have like an LP that just uses all these tracks but then refurbishes it. No, I want to actually hear an LP with a bunch of, it's like maybe 50 new tracks, but it sounds like this. It has that similar sound, has that similar almost classic rap, almost kind of classical rap. I don't know exactly how to describe the instrumental set. More of a classic instrument. How do you use it? It's like trap, classical, instrumental. I don't know how to describe it. Sorry, my room's messy. I never pointed that out. But generally speaking, I would like to hear more things like this. This is a very enjoyable, very easy to listen to album. And I don't know if I'll listen to it again, but I did enjoy this one listen of it. As in terms of favorite tracks, I have them listed up right here. So if I look over here, I'll look at them. Well, first of all, we have to look at the track with him in Future, Desires. I really like this track, actually. I think it has a lot of skill from both rappers. They both come in with a really nice hook, very catchy sound to it. A little more up on the ante of angry on this album, but it's definitely a very enjoyable track and it has a lot of energy in it. I really like that track. Then another track I like is Tootsie Slide, obviously. I don't know if I'm Tootsie Slide? He pronounces it in the song, I'm forgetting. But enjoyable track, nice party song with a nice dance that he came up with in the music video, only it's actually the moonwalk. But I really like that track as a whole, and it's a very catchy, nice track with a nice trap beat over it. And then my favorite track on this album, let me look, okay, yep. My favorite track on this album was Landed. This was the most high energy, just, it felt like Drake was so into the song. It's 2.5 minutes, but it feels totally worth that. It didn't feel like he went on way too long. It felt like it was the right length. He had the right amount of aggression, and just generally speaking, it was an incredibly enjoyable track. Most tracks on this album are good. If I were to go, let me look, okay. If I were to look at 3 worst tracks from this album, I'd say From Florida with Love would be one. It's not bad, and only one of these tracks on this album is bad, but I think that it's just not memorable. That's just all I'll say. It's just not the most memorable track on this album. Generally speaking, you could cut it and it wouldn't take away anything from the album. The other track on this album, the 2 tracks on this album I don't really dig are Pain 1993. As a whole, there's a lot of hype for this track, but I don't really feel like this is what people wanted to hear. I don't like Playboi Carti's hook at all. I think Drake has a flow on it that works, just nothing new. As a whole, it's not even a creative track, and on top of that, you just don't have a solid hook, so generally speaking, you don't have a very solid track. Then, my worst track on this album is Deep Pockets. I don't know why this is on the album. It has weird mixing. It just doesn't sound good. It's not pleasant at all. Generally speaking, this track should not have been on this album. It is the only track on this album I genuinely call bad. Pain 1993 isn't bad. It's just not very good. This is genuinely a bad track. So yeah, overall, what would I give? Dark Lane demo tracks. What would I give Dark Lane demo tracks out of 10? I would feel a good 7 out of 10 for Dark Lane demo tracks. What do you guys think on this new Drake mixtape? Do you excited if there's an album? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll probably be making a lot more album videos like this because I enjoy this a lot. And I'm working around editing and cameras, so bear with me in the next few videos. See you guys next time. Peace out. I don't know why I did that with my hat, but whatever.